Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL and college football. From the latest science issues, breakout stars, and all the news in between. As always, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Alex. Hey, man.
What's up?
Nothing. We're going to have a pretty rad show today.
Oh, it is pretty packed.
Yeah, we're going to go AP Top 25 poll, the first poll of the year. It's technically the preseason poll, as we are still, I think, 12 days away from official college football kickoff.
Yeah, and then we got a couple games this weekend, but we'll talk about
that at the end of the show.
We'll talk about that at the end of the show, yes.
We're going to talk some controversial news out of UCF, which we'll get into at that moment when we start the show.
Yeah.
So stop being so needy. We'll talk about it then. And we're going to end the show like we have ended the last few Thursday shows, and that is previewing the week of preseason games, the weekend of preseason games, and that is preseason week 3.
Yeah, it's the big one. It's the big week.
It's the dress rehearsal, as they call it. So you been watching Hard Knocks?
I have not. I don't have HBO.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it's really
I told you I watched Last Chance U, and I told you to watch it, but
I'm gonna check out the first episode. I think I want to say I'm house sitting again this week.
Okay.
So it's my mom's friend. She's a teacher, so she's off track. So she just keeps going out of town. But I'm house sitting for her, and so she doesn't really have a lot of cable.
Yeah.
Like she has like basic channels, and I have my laptop and stuff, so I can stream the games and such. But if I really want, I have Netflix and Amazon, so I'll probably watch it.
You have the chill, Netflix and chill. I'm sorry.
By myself.
I had to say that on here one time. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, hey, let's get
all the young kids will know what I'm talking about.
Young kids don't listen to the radio anymore. Okay, well, we're going to get into the AP Top 25 poll. Like I said, it's the first of the year. It's the preseason poll, and it's pretty much the top 10 is kind of as expected. Maybe some teams shifted around. So I'm going to go 10-6. Jeremiah will go 5-1. So at 10 is probably the only FBS individual, independent team that ever really gets ranked in the top 25. For at least for the most part, top 10. And that is Notre Dame. They are ranked at number 10 there within the top 10. Coming in at 9 is Tennessee out of the SEC. 8 is Stanford, led by wonderkind in the running backfield, Christian McCaffrey. You have number 7 is Michigan, a little lower than some people thought they might be, but 7 it is for the Jim Harbaugh-led team. First winner of the college football playoff of all time, and that'll always be for them. Ohio State comes in at 6, a lot of turnover after losing 9 starters to the draft this year. We'll see how they can do this year coming up, but are ranked number 6 going into the season. LSU comes in at 5, and Jets where Jeremiah takes over.
Yeah, LSU.
Sorry, I was a little too quick.
You went a little too ahead of yourself.
Well, we did it yesterday in the sports show, and I did all 10.
I'm
sorry,
okay,
continue.
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay.
So that's where Jeremiah takes over.
Okay, yeah.
Winky, wink to you.
All right.
Go ahead.
As Alex just mentioned, LSU is ranked number 5.
And I believe they have their rankings from last year, too. So I meant to say 10.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, they finished at 11 last year. 22 was where Tennessee finished. They took a big jump up to 9. 3 for Stanford. Now they're 8. 12 for Michigan. Now they're 7. And then 4 for Ohio State. Now they're 6. So.
Yeah, and then LSU was ranked 16 to end the year. Florida State is ranked number 4, last year finishing at 14. Oklahoma, yeah, they are ranked number 3, and they finished 5th in the top 25 last year. And the top 2 teams, there's no surprise here.
No,
it is the teams that play for the Natty last season. That is Clemson at number 2 and Alabama at 1. Yes.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. The top 10 is pretty much as people expected. Maybe some teams shifting around that, Michigan might be a little low for some people in their minds.
Yeah, I thought that was a surprise. I thought they were going to be at least maybe top 5. I thought they were going to be number 5. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I actually had Michigan as one of the playoff teams this year. I think they're going to take that step with Jim Harbaugh as the coach. And Stanford, I'm not really surprised by that ranking. It seems like every year, Pac-12 is always rated just like in the top 10. They're never in the top 5. It's always been that way.
For a while.
Yeah.
I mean, since USC was the powerhouse they were.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. Yeah, and except for Oregon. Oregon was
the Marcus
Mariota years they were inside the top 5 routine.
Yeah, they're routine. Yeah, and then a couple of teams that were not ranked last year, most notably Washington, 14.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You said not a lot of Pac-12 teams that are within the top 10, but there are 5 in this countdown. I was going to say, so we're going to say notable teams from 11 on. I'm going to leave 15 to you because you love talking about them so much.
Oh, yes.
So I'll make a couple notable ones. Ole Miss, SEC team, currently, in my opinion, has the best quarterback in the SEC. We talked about him plenty. Chad Kelly there. They finished the year ranked 10, so pretty much where they were last year, pretty much Notre Dame and them flip-flopped. I have Washington, like you said. They finished
7-6
last year, so having them ranked 14, there's a lot of belief in that house that they have gotten
They
lot better.
They had a lot of hype in the offseason, yes.
Yeah. 16 has UCLA and Josh Rosen leading the Bruins. After an 8-5 season, we'll see where they can go from there. And then, you said USC. Well, you're talking about USC and Pac-12 teams. They're ranked 20th, and Oregon actually sneaks into the top 25 this year at 24.
Yes, they do. And don't forget Louisville. Ranked number 19 as well, and it looks like Houston.
That's who I'm leaving for you.
It looks like Houston are ranked again. They're number 15 after finishing 8th.
Yeah,
they are a power. Not power. A group of 5 conference teams, so that's why they got left out of the top 10. But yeah, man, I think by the season's end, I think they can be in the top 10. Easily,
if they play like they did last year.
If they play like they did last year, and
13-1,
they do have a couple of tough games, and if they play through those very well, I don't think they're going to win some of those games because they do play Clemson in one of them, and I think it's Michigan State that they're playing also.
Yeah,
and I think they're both. I think one of them is at home, one of them's on the road, and they do play Louisville, which is going to be a big game for both of these teams. I do see them finishing top 10, but.
And that's always dependent on the top 10 currently.
But honestly, it just depends on how they perform against those teams, and it depends on how those other teams are ranked too.
Well, see now, if you have questions about exactly what their record might be, so on and so forth, go back and listen to our American Conference preview.
Yes,
because we'll fill you in. Give me 2 teams you think besides Houston that can make their way out of the top, 15 out, 11 to 25 in that sense, right out of the top 10. Give me 2 teams that are that aren't currently in the top 10 that you think can make their way into the top 10, and then I'll give you 2 teams I could see falling out of the top
11
10.
to 25, huh?
The non-top 10 teams. Who can you see sneaking into the top 10, and then I'll give you some teams I could see falling out.
Okay, teams from 11 to 25, I can honestly see most of them be Ole Miss, Michigan State, TCU. And Houston.
Yeah, well, I said besides Houston because you did just say you could see them getting in the top 10.
Okay, and then I think USC. I think they can make a leap to the top 10. It's going to be really tough for them, but they got the defense to compete against any team.
Against good competition, yeah. They have arguably the best corner in football.
I'm really excited to see that matchup against Alabama. That's going to be probably a real good game to watch. I don't see Alabama winning. I mean, I don't see USC winning that game.
I feel like it might be a really good game or just a blowout. Like it's going to be blown up and then just horrible watch.
And then they just drop out the top 25 after that. But
I mean, that might, depending on how the rest of the top that 20 goes right there.
And actually, a team that I'm actually really surprised is Baylor. They're ranked in the top 25. After that
rough offseason.
After that eventful offseason they had.
Coming in at
23.
23, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, a couple teams.
Honestly, and I think maybe Louisville can probably clinch the way at the top 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do see a couple teams possibly falling out of the top 10. I could see Florida State falling out of the top 10 this year because I feel like there's a lot of heavy competition within the top 25 itself, pushing and shoving, and they have a rough schedule ahead of them. And I could see Tennessee falling out of the top 10 as well.
Yeah, the favorite to win the SEC East, I believe. Yeah. A couple of teams I can see falling out of the top 10. Maybe LSU.
I was thinking LSU.
I could probably see them.
Their defense needs to be improved this year, and then we'll really see how the offense does besides Leonard Fournette, whether or not they can really get a passing game out of there. We've talked about it in our SEC preview, the final of our conference previews, if you want to go back and listen to that as well.
I can probably see maybe Stanford fall out of the top 10 because
I think that really depends on how Cat McCaffrey and the offense plays.
Yes, it depends on how they finish. This team has to have they really have to win 12 games every year to be in the top 10, and they're in a Pac-12 conference, so it's hard for Pac-12 conference teams to be ranked this high. It's been like that for the past couple of years, besides Oregon, who was in the top 5 every year. And honestly, though, teams that can drop out of the top 25 overall, probably USC can probably be my most notable one, just because they have that huge Week 1 matchup against Alabama, and like you said, it can either be a good game or a blowout. And if they get blown out by Alabama, I think that might kind of drop them off to the top 25 a little bit.
I can see that.
I can see Baylor dropping out of the top 25 just right off the bat.
It really depends on how their year goes.
It surprised me that they were ranked. They had such an eventful offseason. I don't know how this team's going to play.
I really have no clue right now with them. Yeah.
But anyways, going back to teams that weren't ranked last year, Georgia, they didn't finish the season ranked last year. Louisville didn't finish the season ranked last year. So there's a little bit of hype around Louisville. USC wasn't ranked last year. So it's going to be very exciting to see how this top 25 is going to shake out at the end of the winter. So,
I got you, man. Well, hey, okay, we're going to take our first break, and we're going to get into some some also college football news, and that is UCF, a team that's definitely not ranked. We're going to get into their news and controversial news.
They were pretty terrible last year. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, they were terrible. Yeah.
All right, well, hey, we'll take our first break. We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And we're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. I'm going to throw it to Jeremiah here, and he's going to introduce the next bit of news we have.
Yes, the University of Central Florida will build a statue of former head football coach George O'Leary.
Bad move.
Bad move. Yeah, a group of private donors came up with the idea. They think it was really good to build a statue at the stadium on campus.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
And in case you guys don't know, George O'Leary, he was a coach when.
Let's put it this way. Let's go this way first. George, he's probably the best coach in the history of
by far most successful. He turned that program around.
He was there for years.
Yeah,
played won 81 games there, but that's not the big story. No, sorry, continue, Jeremiah.
Okay, well, O'Leary was the coach when one of his players, Eric Blanchard, collapsed and died, during a conditioning drill. I think 2008.
During practice.
2008. Yeah, and it's been a little bit of controversy since then, and he had
sickle cell anemia.
Yeah, and which
you don't do good with that with heat and what's the word I'm looking for? Altitude. High altitude. That's
exactly.
the reason Ryan Clark couldn't play in Denver. He had sickle cell anemia, and he couldn't play in Denver because of the high altitude. He played there in 2006, and he had to get his spleen removed or something.
Yeah, so the UFC Athletics Association, they were negligent in the Eric Blanchard's,
Yeah, they were named negligent.
According to a jury, and it was like a 14-day trial, too, I think.
Pretty penny, too.
Yeah.
$10 million in 2011.
And Blanchard family attorney, Steve Yared, told ESPN, quote, "They can go to hell, and I'm happy to put them there," end quote. So... yeah,
people aren't very happy about this.
Some people aren't happy, and the group of private donors, I thought this was a good idea. I'm actually not surprised because this is a university that named a baseball field after the coach was, he was fired because of sexually harassing a male equipment employee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They named the field after him.
Yeah.
I mean, the school, even now, to date, apparently, the school hasn't even paid the family of the deceased any money.
No, and I think originally, the settlement was around $10 million for the family, but then I guess the Court of Appeals, they lowered it down to $200,000 because UFC is a state, I think, institution or...
Yeah, UCF it's a state institution, yeah.
Yeah, and they still have not received that money.
Nope,
and it's just
not one penny.
It just, I don't know what to say about this, man. Don't get me wrong. O'Leary, probably the most accomplished coach in football history at UCF.
No, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, and he helped turn that program around. He was a huge part of being in the community. He was a huge figure in that community, but the statue is going to stand within a few hundred feet where Planter died. That is just something I just cannot fathom,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, it's just it's very tough news to grasp.
Yeah, it's like, did they not think of what's going to come of this?
I remember O'Leary is the coach at UCF. Well, he was the coach at UCF because he lied on his resume for Notre Dame. If O'Leary never lied on his resume for Notre Dame, he would have never went to UCF. And he was involved at Georgia Tech in a couple of investigations for playing ineligible players. So there's always been a dark cloud over O'Leary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's always been an issue.
Don't get me wrong, that his accomplishments, he would mean so much to that program. But I just think, honestly, it's pretty insensitive in my opinion.
Oh, it's very insensitive. 100. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't find it a smart move in any sense of the word.
Yeah, and in a statement from UCF athletic program, said, quote, "George helped our student athletes reach new heights in the classroom and on the field. It's appropriate to recognize those achievements at some point in the future," end quote. So, honestly, I think UFC officials knew they would cause quite a stir.
You would imagine. I don't see how you couldn't.
But honestly, though, like, if you're a private donor, how do you see this as a guy? I get it. Okay, he helped this team win. He got him to 7 straight bowl games. Actually, they upset Baylor in the Fiesta Bowl, I think 2013. I forget what year, 2012. Probably one of the good upset. But come on, man. Like, come on. Like, George O'Leary has been involved in some controversial points.
You could say that lightly.
And his, not just in UCF, but his whole college career, Like I previously said, he lied on his resume for Notre Dame, and his team was involved in investigations. When he left that program, when Chan Gailey was a coach, he left. He wasn't investigated because he left the team before they were investigated. And this, the player that died on his watch, how do you, think of yourself, put your position as the Planter family here.
Okay.
What do you make of all this news? Like, you got to be pretty irate about this.
It's kind of, I kind of related to the whole Art Briles thing and how, like, not necessarily donors but boosters want him back, and you would imagine the families would be just as upset, in that sense. So yeah, I mean, if I'm his family, I'd be very upset. I mean, especially because this has been an ongoing thing for years. They still haven't got any money for it. Apparently, when he, went down and started having problems before he passed away, it was a punishment. It wasn't necessarily running in a drill. It was punishment for something.
Yeah, it was punishment. And former UCF players in attendance, I think in court, according to court documents, they testified that the team's trainers did respond. And O'Leary did even blow the whistle to stop practice because they obviously saw that he was in distress on the ground. And, I don't know. It's just something that, it's tough to fathom, because I know that was like 2008. That's 8 years ago. But come on, that's a player that died on your watch, and the UCF's negligence is part of the reason, and the NCAA now mandated tests for sickle cell.
The test trait for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason. It's part of the reason why. It's nothing to mess around. Like Ryan Clark, he couldn't play at Denver.
Because he could legitimately die.
He can literally die on the field.
And we saw.
And we saw how
UCF is pretty. It's in Florida. It's humid there. It's, it's hot. I'm sure. I don't know how the same reaction it has for altitude, but I know it affects you obviously. So, not very great. You know what I mean? And obviously the kid passed away, so it's horrible. I think there shouldn't be a statue, but looks like they're trying to make a statue.
Yeah, and it's going to be literally a few feet away where Eric Blanchard died. Yeah, and near Bright House Network Stadium, where UCF currently plays at, and literally actually was a big part of putting that stadium there. So
he was. And it's he did a big part in other things.
He did. Yeah, no, it's a shame that he was a part of so many other things in his college career. UCF, he did so much for the student athletes and for the program. But, I think it's inappropriate to make a statue of a guy that
should make a statue for the kid instead.
That's what, yeah, exactly. That's what Geary said. They should build a statue of him because, he was just, it wasn't his fault, coaches told him to do those drills as punishment. And, yeah, that's all I can very much say about this.
Yeah, that's about as far we'll get into it. But we'll take our last break here, and we'll come back and do our preseason week 3 preview, and we will get out of here. So we'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and we're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, and we're going to preview NFL Preseason Week 3 action. We have 2 games taking place tonight, and that is the Atlanta Falcons at Miami and Dallas taking on Seattle. And that is, like I said, Thursday night action. Friday, we have some solid games, I would say. For me, obviously, as a Steeler fan, I'm looking forward to the Steelers at New Orleans, New England at Carolina, see what some more action from the reigning MVP Cam Newton can show. Buffalo at Washington and Green Bay at San Francisco. I know Jeremiah can keep his eye on that, as am I. Some first action from Colin Kaepernick there. Go ahead and lay us out the Saturday and Sunday action.
Yes, on Saturday morning here on the West Coast here, we're gonna have the
early game.
Yeah,
we have a regular Saturday.
Here it's gonna be 10 a.m. here on the West Coast, and then I think 1 o'clock on the East Coast time. Kansas City Chiefs at the Chicago Bears. We're gonna have the Detroit Lions taking on the Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium.
Yeah, M&T baby.
Yeah, and Lucas Oil Stadium will feature the Philadelphia Eagles and the Indianapolis Colts. And we go to MetLife Stadium here for a rivalry.
Battle of the New York.
Battle of the New York teams.
I love when they play each other.
Oh, I love when they play each other, especially in the third game,
Yeah.
Battle of the New York teams and the Giants.
That's the first time we saw Victor Cruz.
Yes, it was.
A couple years he's wearing number 3 or whatever.
During his breakout year.
Yeah, it was the year before actually. It was the year it was the Hard Knocks year for the Jets.
Okay.
And the next year was he made the roster and broke out.
Oh, okay. So we got the Giants and the Jets there in MetLife Stadium on Saturday night. And then we got a nationally televised game, I believe.
Yeah, on CBS.
On CBS, the Tennessee Titans and taking on the Oakland Raiders at the Oakland Coliseum in the Bay Area.
I'll take a look at that game for sure.
Yeah, I think I will too.
I want to see some prolonged starters for the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game. We actually talked about the Raiders in our AFC West preview show you guys can listen to in our previous episode. And then for the final game on Saturday night, we have the St. Louis Rams taking on the Denver Broncos at Sports Authority Field in Denver.
I imagine they're eventually going to change that name.
Yeah,
Sports Authority.
I'm assuming so because they're pretty much running out of business.
No, they are out of business. I worked at Sports Authority.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
And,
Yeah.
They closed. Yeah. No.
So they closed nationwide. I thought they still had a
Yeah.
few stores left.
No, I mean, they were closing. They're
Oh,
probably,
okay.
like my store is gone. Like it's getting close. It's turning into Dick's Sporting Goods around probably officially be done probably summer next year. But no, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to change.
Oh,
the
they're
name of the
going to have.
field.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to. Like,
Name it Dick's Sporting Goods Field at Mile High.
or you can just take out the sporting goods out of the name.
What, Sports Authority? What, Field at Mile High?
No,
They
no,
need
no.
a sponsor.
No. Like, you know how you say Dick's Sporting Goods
Oh.
Field? Just take out the sporting goods, and
No.
I'm kidding. I'm
I-
not going to actually say it.
They
but
need to get a cool nickname.
They
like
do.
the O.co. I don't like that. I like that when they say Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I like
the
Soldier
old-
Field. That's a good name.
Yeah, that's Soldier Field. It's like a gladiator stadium.
I mean, it's almost old enough.
It's almost it's almost old enough
Oh,
for the
man.
beginning time of the gladiators. Okay,
All right,
anyway.
well, let's go to the Sunday games.
Anyway,
and
we
we
got-
actually have a 10 a.m. Sunday morning
Dude,
game. Oh,
Sunday we have a triple header, nationally televised games. We got
back
these
to back.
starting off. San Diego Chargers at the Minnesota Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium, the new stadium for
Yeah, it's
Minnesota.
nice.
Yes, it is. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah.
And we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. And to cap off Week 3 and the night, we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars and Jacksonville. Yes,
Yes,
and
sir.
that game will be on NBC.
Yeah.
And
It's a Sunday night game, baby.
And the last two games are, well, the games before that are, it's a doubleheader by Fox. So
back to back like
Sunday-
a regular Sunday.
yeah, man.
All we're missing
so
is the CBS game at the same time at 1.
pretty much, man. So pretty much, I'm looking forward to Sunday. Just watching
Yeah.
triple header.
I'm looking forward to Jacksonville.
I am
want to
too.
see how some extended play from their starters. I'm looking forward to the Denver-LA game. LA did go
Oh,
undefeated
did I say
at home.
did I say St. Louis Rams?
I don't know.
Oh, well, my bad, yo. We got the LA Rams taking on the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to that game. I want to see how the starters of each team really fare. Some more quarterback, issues there with the Broncos. I'm ready to look at that. See if Goff gets some solid time with the starters. Again, the Raiders, I want to see that, like I was saying. The New York game, I don't know if I'll watch it, but I'm definitely going to keep up with it, That's always what I'm interested in. See some full-on luck action there in Indianapolis. I'm definitely ready to see some Roethlisberger in the Pittsburgh game. I know he's going to play. I don't know how much. Him and Brown, and for sure D'Angelo. I don't know the issue so far with Le'Veon. If they want to keep him from contact as long as they can. And then definitely interested in seeing the Dallas-Seattle game.
Yeah, I'm
See some more
interested.
Dak Prescott. And Trevon Boykin. Like I said, two of the more impressive rookie quarterbacks so far this preseason.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Cleveland Browns and Tampa Bay game on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to seeing extended play from Robert Griffin III.
Yeah, a little
He
bit
had
more.
a pretty good Week 2 performance, and I want to see if he can replicate that in a more, in more snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also looking forward to seeing the Green Bay Packers in the San Francisco 49ers matchup.
I know
it's
it.
well,
I know you
well,
are.
yeah,
But for other reasons.
But for other reasons, like
Mhm.
this is the first time we're going to probably see Colin Kaepernick play in the preseason. And remember, Chip Kelly and company haven't decided on a starter yet because Kaepernick hasn't had a chance. Gabbert has looked awful. Yeah,
And
so
that's about it.
this can be Kaepernick's time to shine. And they're gonna have to name a starter for Week 4. For the start of the season before Week 4 of the preseason, because there's very uncertainty there at the quarterback position, and also I'm actually looking forward to the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. I'm excited to see. Looking forward to see that is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, you are.
Getting more playing time.
And we'll see some Tom Brady probably this week,
Yeah,
too.
maybe we'll see some Tom Brady in there, and I am looking forward to the Cowboys and Seahawks game because
For the same reasons.
I'm for the same reasons that Alex said. I want to see me some Dak Prescott.
He's looked great, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited. Like we said, starts tonight. Dallas at 7 p.m. here, Pacific Standard Time. We're looking at 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, late game over there on the East Coast. And at 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, start for the Atlanta-Miami game. All right.
The thing I like about this is that there's a nationally televised game literally every day. I think the Atlanta Falcons and Miami games on
That's
NBC.
going to be NBC.
And then we got the Cleveland Browns Tampa Bay
CBS.
game and CBS. And then on Saturday, we have the Oakland Raiders and Titans.
CBS. And then 3 of them.
The triple header on Sunday.
Man,
Boom.
we are so close.
Yeah, we're very close.
Oh, man. I can't wait. All right. Well, that's it for our show.
Wait, no, we got.
I'm sorry.
No, remember we got a couple of.
Let's finish strong.
Yeah, we got a couple of college games happening this weekend,
Which is weird because they have like a whole nother week plus. But
we got one happening on Friday. Yes, we got Hawaii taking on Cal in Australia down under. Yeah, I think they've been there for about a couple of weeks now. I'm not really quite sure, but yeah, man.
Who's been with them?
Well, they travel.
Lynch.
They travel there, and then of course we get to talk about some FCS action here. Charleston Southern, taking on the North Dakota State Bison. So the Bison have gone 71-5 since their 2011 national championship year in.
Mm-hmm.
It's an FCS game, but remember, this is the team that Carson Wentz was at last year. Took them to pretty much made them relevant, honestly, across nationwide. So it's interesting to see how North Dakota State is going to perform on national television, on ESPN, without Carson Wentz. So, yeah, we got some college football unofficially starting, I should say. And we got NFL Week 3 preseason action. So, yeah, man, it's an action-packed week for football, that is.
Dude, it's very action-packed.
I'm man.
So excited.
And then, I don't know, I'm actually looking forward to watching that Hawaii and Cal game. It's just...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to football games that actually count. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks. Just football.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy time.
Man, I'm excited.
All right, well, that concludes our show, guys. Yes. You can listen to our show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and SoundCloud, as well as on the website at gsmcpodcast.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at GSMC_football and on Instagram, the same handle that is at GSMC_football. You can also like us on Facebook at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And I think starting Tuesday, we're going to be on a new schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you have us on subscribe, it'll just download it right to your phone.
Exactly. So we're going to have a new schedule starting next week from Tuesday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And catch you guys on the flippity flip.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even warn me now.
Yeah.
Don't even warn me. All right, guys. See you next week.